economic growth in these areas. But we need to figure out on how to do this sustainably. So what happens here? A lot of logging, unsustainable logging, impacting a lot of ecosystem services. Palm oil, not only on degraded lands, or actually very rarely and almost non-existent on degraded lands, but very much going into primary rainforest and secondary forests. Mining, a huge issue in this area, particularly coal mining. Other forms of mining, gold, copper, also have been in this area, also impacting significantly on various ecosystem services. In Sarawak, there is a plan of building 13 large-scale hydropowers. There's already a couple built already, but the plan is moving ahead. Again, if not done in a sustainable way, could impact a lot of ecosystem services and important for economies and people. A little bit of background of the fact that this issue is arising in Borneo actually the last decade. Dov mentioned in the 19th century, the world is already going into this industrialized kind of effort. In Borneo it came a bit later than that, but the impact is severely. Most of it is from 85 onwards, where the habitats are decreasing, forest cover changing, impacting ecosystem services that are important for economies even outside the heart of Borneo areas or even downstream, and for people's well-being. I'll go through a couple of services later on. But first of all, I want to give you an idea of what's there. A lot of important ecosystems and their processes and their services that it provides to people and economies, as well as the species, as well as some of these species seem to be people can only use this for tourism purposes, but a lot of ecosystem processes and services are invisible. People don't see it. And that is where we need to work on. We need to make this visible, these ecosystem services. What is visible very much is the development that's happening, and that's some of these highlighted I've just mentioned to you in an earlier slide as well. Note that this is not a WWF program, it's a government-driven program. It was driven by WWF in the 90s, but since 2007, the three governments have made a declaration, and they're meeting, they have a tri-national meeting every year where they're discussing their transboundary partnership. There are 5 topics that they are working on. They've worked on a strategic plan of action across 3 countries, and each of these countries have also got their own strategic plan of action. Each country is also has their own setup of institutional framework, institutional mechanism.